Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and as you can see, we're back with some Master League. I believe this is number 8, episode 8 of my Southampton Master League, as we basically coming up to the January transfer window, which is absolutely fantastic to get to add to the squad in terms of basically players, which is good. I mean, we of course get to renew contracts and whatnot. But in today's episode, we have 2 matches from the Premier League and 1 match from the FA Cup, the match against Liverpool, which is an absolutely fantastic spectacle. I advise you watch that as the 3rd match of this episode. If you just want to skip ahead, go ahead. I mean, you're going to miss out on all the fun we have against Newcastle. But anyway, first game of this episode is against Newcastle. Of course, there's Nathaniel Klein having scored his goal against Arsenal. It's an absolutely fantastic goal as well. If you missed that, go and watch the last episode. And there's actually a link in the description below to the playlist. If you've missed any of the episodes so far, you can actually go back and watch all of them in like a couple of days or whatever, because about 10 minutes an episode. But in the first minutes of the match here, as you can see, Newcastle there do a pretty decent job and get a shot away literally in the first minutes of the match. But coming to the 25th minute here, as Tadic on the ball runs past a couple of players and ends up getting a shot away. It's a really, really nice goal from Tadic as he runs past about 3 players here, but he does a nice little bit of skill. Well, I do a little bit of a R2 run as we get the ball, as basically do a really good job, to be honest. That's really about it. But into the 36th minute here, as we get J. Rodriguez on the ball again, gets another shot away, and again, it's flying past Tim Krul before he's even known that it's there, and we lead 2-0 coming up to half-time, which is absolutely, it's just great. But we weren't finished there. No one's ever finished there. So, coming up to the 43rd minute here, literally coming to the half-time mark, as again, we score a very fortunate goal. Graziano Pella is going to claim it, but in reality, it takes a massive deflection. I think it's off Fabrizio Colaccini, and it goes flying past Tim Krul. I mean, when you watch it, if you go back and watch it, it's very clever, because it actually makes it like Tim Krul's whole weight is going to the right, going to his left, and the ball just goes flying to his right. It's quite a slow moving ball, and he probably should have saved it. He could have probably even saved it with his legs, but for whatever reason, he doesn't bother to even try and save it. So at half time, of course, having come off a 1-0 win against Arsenal, very fortunately in the last match, it was quite a boring match, we're dominating Newcastle, winning 3-0 at half time. So fast forward to the 78th minute here, as we have Joel Campbell on the ball, plays a really nice ball through to Pella. Pella runs past Tim Krul and just pops into the empty net to continue his fantastic goal scoring record and his goal scoring form in general to make it 4-0 against Newcastle at home for Southampton. It's just a great, sometimes you just have some really good matches in this game. In this Master League in particular, with a relatively lower rated team. I wouldn't say Southampton are that lower rated, because they're still a pretty decent team, as another ball gets played from Tadic to Pella, but this time he can't catch on to it, as Tim Krul volleys it away, and that's that. So Tim Krul, being the genius that he is, saving penalties all day long, he can't stop 4 goals coming in from me. So 4-0 to Southampton, going into the last match of this year, technically going into the last match of 2014, as we face off against, I'm not really even remember who, but as you can see there, we dominate them completely. We beat them on possession, we beat them in terms of just shots on target and pass completion percentage. Their shots on target was really poor. I mean, 1 shot, 1 on target, what the hell. But Graziano Pella gets man of the match with 7.5 rating, which doesn't really surprise me. And going into the next match, and the final match of this year, technically, we go up against Aston Villa, Paul Lambert's Aston Villa to be precise. I'm sure that's never going to change, if I'm being honest, because that's probably how the game's programmed. But anyway, we have the likes of Benteke and Agbonlon who are up front, as well as Weimann and Andres Weimann for Aston Villa, of course, going up against the likes of our informed J. Rodriguez, James Ward-Prowse and whatnot. Of course, this game, Morgan Schneiderlin must not have played, because J. Rodriguez is the captain, as you can see there, against Ron Vlaar. Ron Vlaar's a pretty decent player in this game. Tadic, of course, having scored a goal last game, scoring quite nice goals and being in form in general. Denisov actually plays for Aston Villa. I think he's from Zenit St. Petersburg, if I can remember correctly. He's not a good player. He's a Russian midfielder. But going into literally this match, and this match was really interesting because Aston Villa, again, are one of those teams which you don't think you can beat, but you probably can easily beat them. But going into, as you see here, the really poor pass from Ryan Bertrand, and it goes out of play, basically, to try and get the ball to their side, and it all just went to hell from here. The 9th minute of the match, Agbonlon on the ball, eventually gives it to Westwood. Westwood just plays it into Christian Benteke, who takes a shot off his left foot into the bottom corner, and Aston Villa take a relatively well-deserved lead in the first 10 minutes of the match, which was a bit pissed off. I was a bit pissed off, but I was like, well, they did kick off. They more or less kept the ball. They capitalised on my mistake, basically, to be honest. But into the 18th minute here, as Tadic tries to get the ball from Apella through ball, and it goes up for a throw-in on this right-hand side. And basically from the throw-in, we sort of do what you'd expect, really. Give it to Jack Cork runs for a bit, and then he just decides to go for goal. And he goes for goal, and he pings into the bottom corner. I mean, the thing with it, which I've noticed a lot with this game, is when it comes to dribbling, you can sort of dribble past a lot more of the calm players very easily when the computer are playing, and just basically go for like a lot more. It's a lot more direct, and you can sort of do it very easily. I could probably make a tutorial on it, but it would really help a lot of people for playing in terms of actually dribbling in general. But at half time, it was 1-1 between Aston Villa and Southampton, which is actually okay. I mean, it's not too bad. We're drawn with a team who have a lot of pace going forward, and they basically only capitalised on our mistake. I mean, they did have more shots in the game, and they were probably outplaying us in general. But coming into 10 minutes into the second half here, as Jay Rodriguez runs past a couple of players, again gets another shot, which is a good save from Brad Guzan. But James Ward-Prowse is there to diving head it in. When I first scored this, I thought he was offside, to be perfectly honest, but he wasn't offside, and we take the lead 2-1 in the first minutes of the second half. And literally, fast forward all the way to the last minutes of the match, not much really happened here in this match, as Pella gets another shot away, this time instead of the deflection going past Brad Guzan. He makes a relatively decent save. I mean, well, compared to Tim Krul's attempt at it. But anyway, 2-1 was the final score between Southampton and Aston Villa. Another away win for us, another win in general. So we've continued that form. The last time we got beat was against Liverpool, which is now like going 2 matches back, which is like 5 games or 6 games or whatever. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, we're on a great run of form, and Nathaniel Klein gets the man of the match as well with a 6.5 rating. But as you can see here, we show off match day 19 as we show off the table here. Eventually, Man United winning against QPR, and we're second in the table on goal difference. We're 8 points clear of Arsenal in third and Chelsea in fourth, and of course we're on 45 points with Manchester United. So going into the start of the January transfer window, of course, you go into the negotiation phase with your players to renew contracts and whatnot. Of course, I renewed the contract with Morgan Schneiderlin, Jose Font, Shane Long, and Pacini. Of course, Pacini is basically our backup right back. Shane Long, of course, is our backup like a lot of places, because he can play that whole right midfield as well as the centre forward positions. And of course, Pacini, backup right back. Fonte is the backup centre back, and Schneiderlin, of course, is our goddamn captain. So of course I'm going to keep him. So going into this game against Liverpool, and of course it's a game in the FA Cup, so I basically decided that I wasn't going to play my strongest team in any possible way. To be honest, I don't care about the FA Cup too much. I care more about winning either the league or just being in the top 4 in the league and getting that, rather than trying to be like, yeah, I really want to win the FA Cup, because I don't really care about silverware. It's more about just getting qualified for the Champions League, to be honest. So going into this match, we play like Sam Gallagher up front, we played Yoshida at the back, and like Churichez and Luke Shaw was playing, and I think Pacini was playing, but I'm not 100% sure. I didn't see the right back. I think he was playing. But again, a game against the likes of Liverpool, we wanted revenge, but I wasn't going to sacrifice my first team players to get that revenge. I'd rather just get it normally from just playing the game in general. Of course, they play their strongest team as usual, the likes of Moreno and Sturridge and goddamn Balotelli and all that sort of stuff. But our first team players were the likes of Schneiderlin and Fraser Forster. But of course, being the home team, we kicked off as usual. Sam Gallagher kicking out to James Ward-Prowse, which is not a lot of things a lot of Saints fans would be happy to know about, considering that they're both like 19 and 20 years old. I think he's like 18 and 19 years old, which is just ridiculous. And from the first minutes in the match, we give the ball away straight to Raheem Sterling. But this time we were playing a little bit more defensively wise in terms of the tactics, as Joel Campbell here gets the ball, plays the ball eventually through to Sam Gallagher. No, for whatever reason, the defenders just leave him to get the ball away, and he goes and pings it right into the top corner like an absolute boss. So the first opportunity of the match for us, and we score. Sam Gallagher scores, a Scotsman, scoring for his first goal for Southampton, well, under my reign anyway. And literally like 2 or 3 minutes later, after a clearance from, I think it was Klein, goes straight to Sam Gallagher, heads it into Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse gives it back to Gallagher, and he pops in the back of the net for his second goal. What an absolute beast. There's no need to buy in our centre forward. We have Sam Gallagher. He's in the back, and he's only rated like 69 or whatever, and he's just dominating the centre backs for Liverpool. But like from 2 minutes later on after that, Daniel Sturridge is coming forward here. Churches tries to stop him. Eventually Yoshida goes out to stop him down, but it doesn't stop him at all, and Sturridge scores to make it 2-1 to Southampton, of course, coming to not the half-time mark. I mean, it was only like 10 minutes into the match and 3 goals had already been scored. But into the 40th minute of the match here, as James Ward-Prowse is a little bit nice of skill, a little bit of skill to get past Steven Gerrard, gets a shot away and unfortunately goes just wide. So the half-time result was actually 2-1 to Southampton, which isn't too bad considering that, again, we're not rated that high in terms of team, and again, we're facing off against someone who's already beat us this season, and we're playing a much weaker team, but again, they've dominated on possession, they had more shots than us, and all that sort of stuff. So 10 minutes into the second half, and after Fraser Forster punched the ball out, it comes to Jordan Henderson, who plays it into Daniel Sturridge. Sturridge just waits for his opportunity and ends up taking it with his right foot. Never seen Daniel Sturridge score with his right foot, but he scores with his right foot and makes it 2-2 for him to score 2 goals. Sam Gallagher, of course, also scoring 2 goals. This whole second half was a lot of me just defending, to be honest, instead of even trying to get forward in terms of attack. It was so bad because Liverpool just dominated me and it was just dreadful. And it was the full-time result, well, the 90 minutes result was 2-2 between Southampton and Liverpool, and basically it went all the way to extra time because, of course, that's expected because it's the FA Cup. Shane Long here should have probably scored from the resulting corner kick, literally last seconds of extra time. Wanyama can't get his head on it, and they clear it, and that is that. So 2-2, the final score, going into a penalty shootout against Liverpool. Of course, they have Mignolet in goal. They had a lot more shots. I mean, they had 11 shots, 7 on target. And of course, we're going up with the likes of Sam Gallagher and Thomas Rosicky and James Ward-Prowse taking penalties into probably a much higher rated player. I think I actually took off Sam Gallagher to bring on Shane Long, hence why he's taking the first penalty in this shootout. Of course, Shane Long not really known for his penalty taking, but of course, with no help from the display guy, just end up taking the penalty kick, and I end up hitting it more or less central, a little bit to the left, to get it past Simon Mignolet. But of course, Balotelli had scored a penalty against me last time we'd played between Liverpool and Southampton. Again, he pops it past me. Again, me diving to the bottom left. I usually always dive bottom left, or well, technically goalkeeper's bottom right. But Davis had come on, Simon Davis, I think, came on, and he scores his penalty to basically make it 2-1 to us in the penalty shootout. And then I think it was it was Joe Allen who came to take his penalty, and he just popped in the back of the net to make it again 2-2. So no penalties missed after 4 penalties taken, and it came to Thomas Rosicki's opportunity to take a penalty. And I sort of overhit it a little bit, and I thought, oh god, no, but it was alright because it went flying in the back of the net, and that's all that really matters. Of course, we're at home and we're facing off against this team who are known for beating us. I think this was Joe Allen. I don't understand why I said the other one was Joe Allen. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because I saved the penalty. That's all that really matters. Either Joe Allen or Fabio Borini, I saved the penalty. And then it comes to, I think this is Tadic taking this penalty again, his goddamn long run-up, which I really hate with penalty takers, as he just pings it in the bottom left as Mignolet dives to his right to make it 4-2. And going into the penalty, which could potentially be the decider, as Fraser Forster stands opposite the beast, the legend that everyone knows as goddamn Felipe Coutinho, who had scored against us in the league as well. So Coutinho steps up to attempt to try and make it 4-3 and keep the penalty shootout continue going, but this time he actually does score. I did actually dive the right way, I just didn't dive up, I dived down. I should have probably dived up. If I dived up, I would have probably saved it. But Fraser Forster just unhappy there as Southampton are 4-3. We're still winning, but we just need to score his penalty again with the last penalty taker to be Victor Wanyama. So Wanyama, of course, not known again for his penalty taking. None of my players are known for the penalty taking. He just pings it unbelievably composed into the bottom right corner to make it 5-3 to us, and we win the penalty shootout. So Liverpool are out of the FA Cup. We advance into, I think it was the quarterfinals. I think it's the quarterfinals, maybe even the semi-finals. I don't even know. On a penalty shootout win, probably against a team we didn't really deserve to beat. Actually, for maybe the first time I'm actually saying this. So yeah, into the quarterfinals. So, of course, as you see there, Arsenal, Tottenham, and West Brom are on our side, with Manchester United and Man City basically are 2 hard teams on the other side. So, into the quarterfinals, as you see there, World Footballer of the Year, of course, Lionel Messi, and World Manager of the Year was Rudi Garcia, the Roma coach, which is quite surprising. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.